Welcome back to the show, my dear Red Devil and Manchester United supporters. It is the Stretford Den once again here with your host, Sashin Johnson. And of course, we bring to you the latest news with regards to Manchester United and everything to do with the club. So, as you see in the thumbnail, it says Erik Ten Hag, 10 out of 10. And of course, it is all about Erik Ten Hag. It is everywhere in the reports. It is everywhere you look, whether it be online or whether it even be if you are still able to grab a newspaper. It is definitely being spoken about Erik Ten Hag becoming the new Manchester United manager, and it is said that it is a matter of when, not if, that he will be announced as Manchester United manager. But of course, before we go any further, definitely continue to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Links are in the description below. And of course, continue to like and subscribe to the videos here on YouTube, as we want to at least reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year and reach as much Manchester United supporters as we can and take the Stretford end to higher heights than it would ever have been possible. So, without further ado, let me get into the news for you. The first bit of news that I bring to you, it says that Ralf Rangnick knows his relationship with Erik Ten Hag will be very strong because of the past they have together and the relationship they already have compared to Pochettino, who might not want him there and who he doesn't really know. Now, of course, that is self-explanatory. It has been said before that, Erik Ten Hag would love to work with Ralf Rangnick and vice versa. And that is good. That shows a sense of, teamwork, a sense of mentality, wanting to be embedded and, completely put into the foundation of the club, in terms of its footballing structure, in terms of its competitive nature amongst, teammates, but also competing with other top clubs and other top managers, such as the likes of Pep and Klopp, etc. And that shows that they do see a positive future for Manchester United and that they want the best, if not the elite best, from the club itself, not just by the board, but also by the players. And they've got, shall I say, once again, positive, plans in place for Manchester United should things go exactly the way they wanted, meaning that they would be able to work together, but that would also be a positive and a benefit to us as the fans, who will definitely be wanting to see that relationship start, but also blossom and grow, because it can only but bring success. I'm not saying that we are back. I'm not saying that Erik Ten Hag will bring back the good times, but at least we will have complete footballing geniuses, if I have to put it that way, at the apex of the club, being the first team, and thus changing the mentality and the structure of the football club from the bottom all the way to the top. The next bit of news that I want to bring you, it says that during the meeting, Erik Ten Hag wanted to hear about the Manchester United budget and plans for the future. This was brought by Fabrizio Romano, and I have mentioned in a previous video, if you haven't seen it, go and check it out, that Erik Ten Hag has impressed the Manchester United board by his level of English, and Ten Hag also feels that he is ready to try the Premier League as an experience soon. Now, as I've said before in previous videos, Erik Ten Hag has publicly stated that he wants a new challenge, that he is ready to challenge himself on a higher level than what he currently was working at with Ajax Amsterdam. And of course, Manchester United is the perfect club at the moment for him. I don't think there's any club out there in the moment that needs a manager of his expertise and his knowledge and skill level, but Manchester United is out there. Manchester United is still one of the biggest attractions to managers and players. It might not seem like it, but with the right appointments, with Erik Ten Hag coming in, I've said it in previous videos, certain players might choose to stay at the club, such as the likes of Paul Pogba. His future is up in the air. It is seen that he might leave, but who's to say that Erik Ten Hag might not sway him and make him stay at the club? That he might actually blossom under Erik Ten Hag because of superior tactics, superior, training that can improve a player as Paul Pogba and make him play to the best of his ability. We've said that over years, but of course, it is amazing what a coach can do. Look at the likes of Pep, Klopp and Tuchel that have improved players dramatically in the span of a season or two. So Erik Ten Hag has shown that he can do this to youngsters, but he could also easily do it with players that are already at a certain level that can be pushed to a higher level. Jadon Sancho is another player that I can mention that will be even more improved under a coach like Erik Ten Hag. Players in defense will even improve because of a new style of play, a trusted, structured style of play, such as Erik Ten Hag, which is, quick pressing from the front completely all the time, from the first minute and the first whistle, quick passing, when counter-attacking, a high line being played, a ball playing center backs and ball playing wing backs who are able to allow the ball to flow easily, lots of movement off the ball, similar to Pep Guardiola, but perhaps a bit more defined and a bit more structured, with Erik Ten Hag, with the background of Ajax Amsterdam and the way they play their possession football. He probably and has shown in previous games that it is an elite style of football. It is a modern day style of football, and perhaps he is the coach that is actually being at the forefront of the new type of football, which is the 4-3-3s and the 4-2-3-1s that actually allow for freedom for the players up front, but also very good in a defensive setup when we do not have the ball. But time will tell, and these players will have to definitely show their commitment, not just to the club but also to the coach, in order to allow for his tactics to succeed. We've seen plenty of times that they are able to throw managers under the bus, but that should not and will not and cannot happen again when the new manager comes in, potentially being Erik Ten Hag. Other candidates will be interviewed, as the club said, but I don't think they will come near to the success and the impression that Erik Ten Hag has left on the board and those that interviewed him, on Monday, just this past week. And of course, he has shown that his credentials, not just on the pitch but off the pitch, have been exemplary as well, with the way he has conducted himself in interviews, the way he speaks about his players, the way he speaks about the team that he works for, and the way that he addresses himself is all perfectly, completely, and utterly perfect for Manchester United and the way a manager should address himself. Now, I'm not saying previous managers haven't done that, but with a manager knowing exactly how to address himself and how to, portray himself to the public eye, then the players can only and will only follow suit, because then they will respect the manager, respect his tactics, respect his instructions, and completely do it 100% to the best of their ability on the pitch, as we've seen in plenty of times with Ajax's games, even most recently in their De Klassiker derby against Feyenoord, with the way their team showed mental strength and great ability off the ball, but more so on the ball, to go and come from behind and win the game. And that is what we want at Manchester United. That is the type of spirit that we have in our DNA. So, as I've said before, he is the perfect candidate for Manchester United. Our third bit of news that I want to bring you says that the talks with Manchester United with Erik Ten Hag have been described as positive, and the club have been impressed with his vision and philosophy. Good relations with Ajax facilitated talks to happen with Ten Hag. Ajax Amsterdam is literally saying, you can have him, take him. We know he's going to be fantastic for you. We know that he is going to, raise your club up to another level, to the level that it needs to be at, to the level that all we need, that we strive to have, which is, unfortunately, and as difficult as it is to say, with the likes of City and Liverpool, etc., who are the top clubs in England at the moment. And definitely Erik Ten Hag will bring us that particular, shall I say, elite mentality and elite position. Because, of course, with Erik Ten Hag wanting to become the Manchester United manager, he will, of course, want to have the club succeed. He only wants success. He has shown it, and how he has redeveloped an Ajax Amsterdam team that have been ravaged, by players leaving, star players, quality players leaving, and him having to rebuild that team to a competitive team, competing at the highest level, being the Champions League, and doing well Yes, Benfica might have, knocked them out of the Champions League this season, but prior to that, they have shown excellent football. They have shown the excellent level of competitiveness and excellent level of quality to compete with other teams in the Champions League, and with better players, with a bigger club, with a bigger budget to buy players that he would feel would be beneficial to the team and our first team, then definitely we will only improve as a team, improve as a club, and once again be the giant Manchester United that we are. But it will only happen if the right appointments are made and if the board makes the right decision. Whether it's by the end of this week, whether it's by the end of the month, it has to happen soon. I know reports have also stated that they want to take their time in appointing a new manager and do extensive research, but don't delay, board. Don't delay, Glazers. Get Erik Ten Hag. The man has stated plenty of times that he wants to be the new manager of Manchester United. It's like planning to rob a bank, and you know you're going to get a big payoff if you are successful with it, but you don't really want to do it immediately because you are afraid of the risks. Every manager that gets signed to a new club is a risk. Every manager that has to come in and change the fortunes of a club from bad to all the way to good or excellent, there has to be a risk factor. Everything has a risk. You have to take these risks. You know what they say in the casino world, big risk, big reward. Now, of course, I'm not saying that, I'm not promoting gambling or anything to that matter. If you do have a problem with that, I suggest you seek out, help and get that sorted, because gambling addiction is not good. I know quite a few, people who actually have gone through that and have experienced it. But what I'm saying is every manager will be a risk, and we need to take this risk. But at least Erik Ten Hag is a risk with evidence that shows success, that shows a structure and a style of play and a work ethic that brings success. So the board should appoint him as the new manager of Manchester United and then give him full power to do whatever he would like to do at the club. And that brings me into my next point, which I think is just absolute crap, but I really hope that it doesn't happen. I'm actually upset about it, and it's one of those things that the Glazers and the board want to appoint friends, a job for the boys. Hey, you are an ex-player, come and work at Manchester United, we'll give you a position, even though we know you have absolutely no experience in the position whatsoever, but we'll give it to you just because you played for the club, just because you are a legend in your own right at the club. Have a listen to this. It says that we are on the verge of hiring Erik Ten Hag as the new manager, and that the Ajax boss is the leading man to take charge over at Old Trafford, despite the club having interest in Pochettino, Lopetegui and Luis Enrique. However, Lopetegui and Enrique seem difficult due to they both being in Spain, and also Enrique more so being more focused on Spain before the World Cup and is unlikely to leave the Spain national team for a club at the moment. But this is what I want to actually speak about. It's also been claimed that Robin van Persie and Rio Ferdinand are being, suggested to become his assistants in case of any appointment. Now, seriously, we saw this failure when they brought in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? Then they reappointed Mike Phelan because he couldn't handle the dressing room, so we got Mike Phelan in to try and discipline the dressing room. That failed. We brought in Michael Carrick alongside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yes, when Carrick had the interim manager job for like 2 games or so, he did quite well. We played well. But again, job for the boys. It failed. Ole's whole backroom staff failed. Kieran McKenna is doing the business at Ipswich Town right now. But the rest of those that came, Nicky Butt left the club. They are talking about Rio Ferdinand and Van Persie coming to be Erik Ten Hag's assistant. Now, I understand Robin van Persie is, the Flying Dutchman from the Netherlands, and Erik Ten Hag being Dutch himself would kind of be a good relationship, but we need to stop with these jobs for the boys. We can't have, continuous wanting to appoint ex-players that have played for the club to come in and work with the coach. Let the coach bring in the people that he wants and let him do his job the way he does his job. Give him that full power and a full autonomy to do the job the way he has done it at previous clubs, as we've seen with pure evidence, substantial evidence at Ajax Amsterdam. So why do we want to give him someone to work with who he's never worked with, who he hasn't spoken to? Why do we want to cripple our managers and then we complain when the players are not performing on the pitch? Why do we want to do that? I don't believe that story, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. That is the latest news that I bring to you. And of course, thank you guys for joining me on the video. Thank you for watching the video as well. I love the support that you give the Stretford Inn and me, myself, Session Johnson. Continue to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Links are in the description below. And of course, like and subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we can only do so with your help. That is it, me, Session Johnson from the Stretford Inn. Till we speak again soon, bye-bye.